Well, well, well. So once again, man, things are really quiet out there on the free agency market. And the reason why things are so quiet in week 2, I explained this the other day, that they are saying that this is the quickest that the top 100 free agents have ever went off the board. So where in the past, and maybe you could select your players on the first, you could select your players by the third day, there would still be players kind of waning. And then on the second week, you could kind of get some really good leftovers. Well, if you look out there right now on the free agency landscape, there is not a lot out there. So it is pretty quiet out there, not only on the Cowboys front, but on the NFL front. And the moves that are going to be made now are probably going to be trades leading up into the draft. And as we get ready for the draft, there is a player by the name of CJ Allen. And I am telling you, he is a beast of a player. But unfortunately, he's fitting the description of some of the players of the past that the Cowboys have took a chance on. Dallas Cowboy fans, let's talk about CJ Allen. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Let's go! Thursday night, let's talk Cowboys. Let's go! Man, this thing about CJ Allen is absolutely bonkers. And there's pros and cons of this thing. But let's talk about it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, and as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great content coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Again, this CJ Allen thing is very, very interesting. This is going to be the show today, man. We're going to really talk extensively on CJ Allen. But before we talk about CJ Allen, man, this is going to read like a report. So I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys history of injured players. The Cowboys have a history of this. It's like they look at these injured players, and I don't think they're just looking at them because high risk, high reward. I also think they're looking at them because they know they can get them at a very good price. But again, we're going to talk about the history of injured players. Then, it's going to lead us right into the CJ Allen report. We're going to look at what they kind of said about him on his pro day. We're going to look at some CJ Allen film. It'll only be right to do that. And then we're going to look at that CJ Allen pro day film versus his college film. Then, we're going to look at another article by these guys who were talking about why the Joneses fail in free agency, and they talk about the Cowboys are changing based on what they did with Jalen Thompson. So we're going to listen to that. Then, Brandon Aubrey. Man, let me tell you all something about Brandon Aubrey. I'm not mad at him. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? Brandon Aubrey is telling everybody, hey, man, I'm a kicker, but kickers matter. He's saying kickers matter, man. Brandon Aubrey is still out here talking about his contract. Then we're going to talk about George Pickens. George Pickens isn't saying a word, but the fact that there is no word about George Pickens may be saying something, but we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to listen to Le'Veon Bell. He had some advice for George Pickens, and then more Dak praise. Man, it's amazing when we think about the fact that Dak has been in this league for 10 years and how college players look at Dak Prescott. All of that and more today on Let's Talk Cowboys. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get this roll call out of the way, and then we are going to get right into this. Today, first up, my man Ron Hanna. What up, Ron Hanna? What's going on? Justin Durham in the house. What's going on? He says salute to the channel. Yes, sir. Ron Hanna, he's talking about the Mike Fisher mock draft. Ron Hanna, I can't do the, man, you know, we talked about this before. I can't do the mock draft stuff this year. I'm not going to start the mock draft stuff probably until the week before the draft. I mean, these mock drafts, they just get so redundant. You know, it just gets so redundant. And very few, man, the Cowboys don't even do none of what these doggone things be saying. Now, I'm not doing that this year. But I can see the Cowboys trading up to get Sonny Styles. Problem is, I don't think Sonny Styles makes it to number 8. I'm sorry. I don't think he makes it to number 8. Big Mouse Dog, what's going on? Good to see you. Frank Lawrence, what's going on, Frank Lawrence? He said, I insist the Cowboys offense blew games 4 to 5 times without outcome and balance. That being said, offense must also be a priority. Yes, draft best player available. If Kenyon Sadiq, Jeremiah Love, or an also offensive tackle is the best talent. Yeah, only one I'm telling you, only one that would change my mind is Jeremiah Love. 72 Chevelle pulled up in the 72 Chevelle. What's going on, 72 Chevelle? It's my man Chanel. He is our statistician. What's going on, Chanel? Tell me what you think when we start talking about CJ Allen and anything else you want to add. What's going on, Sky B Fed? Good to see you. Ty Howard is in here. Jeremy Betts. What up, Jeremy Betts? Richard Owens. What's going on, Richard Owens? Good to see you. Ramon Martin. What's going on? Derrick Rose. What up, Derrick Rose? Let's go. Levi McMillan, what's going on, fam? Good to see you. What's crack-a-lackin'? That's what we used to say back in the day. Big Rombowski, what is going on? He said there's not a lot out there. Nope. Which is the perfect time for Jura to bust the budget. Yeah, it's not a lot out there, man. If you're going to make a move now, it's going to be a trade. It's not a lot out there, man. They seize this thing, man, like vultures on a dead carcass. Real estate bet, what's going on? Hallelujah. Salute. What's going on? Dolores Ennis. Hallelujah said he's sneaking listening to work. Let's go. All right. Derek Jones. My sister, the Queen. What's going on, Queen? Good to see you. What's going on, Mario Baskin? He said, I see your boy. Hey, they don't know nothing about that Flavor Flav. My man, R.T. Holman out there in the Flow Rider. What's going on? All right, we got Fred Robert Caesar Jr. What's going on with you? Doomsday. We are looking forward to that defense getting back to being Doomsday. Amen. Yeah. Mose Logan said they say the Cowboys high on him at 20. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I would take Rodriguez over him. I really would. Chris Dunaway, what's going on? Demetrius Noel, what's going on? The True Texan, he said, howdy folks, what's going on? Mr. Seed Starter. Katharina Kiss, what's going on? Good to see you. Tatiana, what's going on, Tatiana? We them boys. We them boys. What up, we them boys? All right, let's get this thing. Poobie D's in here. He got my back. Darren Posey, the neighborhood comedian. What's going on, Darren Posey? All right. All right, let's get this thing started. Give yourselves a hand. Best chat on YouTube. And so the first topic of the day as we get into this thing with CJ Allen. There's a couple other players that the Cowboys are interested in. And these players are injured. The other player that they have been attaching to the Cowboys, his name is Jamad, I believe. Jamad McCoy. And he seems to be a very talented player. Problem is, he got injured too. And so we got Jamad McCoy. Let's see, there's another player that I was talking about yesterday. We got Jamad McCoy. He's injured. We got CJ Allen. He's coming off of an injury. And then we have another player coming off of an injury that the Cowboys are interested in. And so my issue becomes with the Dallas Cowboys. I don't want the Cowboys to go down this road. The Cowboys go down this road on a regular basis. I mean, this isn't irregular for the Cowboys. This is regular for the Cowboys. Yeah, the other player is Akeem Mesidor. Jamad McCoy, I think it is. Jamad McCoy, and now C.J. Allen. And so these three players, they are coming off of injuries. And Jerry has already said, there can be no red shirt years for players this year. Jerry said this. There can be no red shirts. We're not getting any players, or we should not get any players who we got to wait on them to get healthy and then come in during the season and then start working their way into the system. And then we're hoping by mid-season, or we're hoping by 3/4 of the season, that those players are ready to go. Because when you look at the history of the Cowboys with these injured players, the problem is, even though some of them actually make it, even though some of them actually, they actually play for the Cowboys, the majority of these injured players, the Cowboys take a chance on, high risk, high reward players. The majority of these players have very short careers. They have very, very short careers. Mr. Get Dirty, looking dapper. What's going on, Mr. Get Dirty? What's going on, Pure Gaming? True Texan says no injured players, period. I'm in agreement. There are too many good players defensively in this draft for the Cowboys to reach for a player that is coming off of an injury. And you're going to see how this really plays into C.J. Allen here in just a moment. But I want to give us a trip down memory lane. And I want to show us, I want to take a trip down memory lane, and I want to show us some of these doggone players. The Cowboys, man, have an insane history, guys. The Cowboys have an insane history of injured players. Let me pull up. Let me see. I had a list here. Let me pull up another list. Hold on. When you look at these injured players the Cowboys have drafted in the past, it is insanity. And this isn't even an exhaustive list. Cowboys have a history of drafting players with existing injuries, often utilizing high risk, high reward strategies on prospects. Look at this. Jalen Smith. Anybody remember that? Anybody who saw Jalen Smith before he was injured at Notre Dame? Oh my gosh. If Jalen Smith doesn't get that cataclysmic knee injury, and Jalen Smith is one of the reasons why college players today skip out on bowl games. Jalen Smith is the poster child for college players skipping out on bowl games. Because had Jalen Smith not played that bowl game, Jalen Smith was a generational talent. Jalen Smith would have been the number one drafted linebacker in that draft. He'd have been the number one overall pick in that draft. Jalen Smith was incredible. Jalen Smith had a severe injury. And Dr. Cooper, the one who they supposedly said, which I still contend, I don't believe he said it, They're saying that Cooper told the Baltimore Ravens, don't take the risk on Max Crosby, or they implied that Dr. Cooper looked at his charts and whatever we sent him, and he I mean, they're wanting us to believe that he told them something, but I don't believe he told them anything other than blah, 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 blah. It's the same Dr. Cooper that did the surgery on Jalen Smith and told Jerry Jones that he would be okay, and Jerry Jones drafted him in the second round. And not only drafted him in the second round, I think out of spite on Dak Prescott, even extended him and gave him a contract. What? The Dallas Cowboys, they never saw that Jalen Smith. They never saw that Jalen Smith. They never saw that Jalen Smith. Another player the Cowboys drafted in 2010. A lot of people don't realize this about Sean Lee. Sean Lee would have been a first-round draft pick, I believe, had he not, as it says, selected in the second round despite a partial ACL tear. Sean Lee probably goes higher. Cowboys drafted Sean Lee. High risk, high reward. Sean Lee, when he was playing, off the chain. Problem is with Sean Lee, he was rarely playing. Just injury after injury after injury with Sean Lee. We had another player recently the Cowboys did this with, Leighton Vander Esch. The Cowboys knew full well when Leighton Vander Esch was drafted that Leighton Vander Esch had neck injury. He was having neck problems when the Cowboys drafted him. What did the Cowboys do? They drafted him. He's already out of the league. He's already out of the league. Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, it just didn't hold up. Other notable players. Bruce Carter in 2011. The Cowboys picked him up. Didn't work out. Jalen Smith 2016. Sean Lee 2010. Bruce Carter 2011. Mark Zicoa, whatever it is. I don't even know who this is. They got him in the 7th round. Luke Schoonmaker. Drafted despite dealing with plantar fasciitis. Luke Schoonmaker hasn't looked good since the Cowboys have had him, if you ask me. Now we got Savon Revel Jr. Now we have Savon Revel Jr. And as high as we are on Savon Revel Jr., they basically said had Savon Revel Jr. not been hurt, Savon Revel Jr. would have been the first cornerback off the board. But again, the Cowboys got a history of these injured players. And to be honest, if you think about it, a lot of these players, they just don't pan out. They don't have the longevity. They don't have the longevity that you would want. And the Cowboys, they draft these players way, and I mean way too high. And C.J. Allen, and we're going to move over to him in just a moment. C.J. Allen is another one of these players. When you look at his college tape, oh gosh. His tape is crazy. His tape is crazy. But the problem is, you bring those players into the pros. The pros is way harder than college. You playing with grown men. You are playing with the best of the best. You are playing with grown men in the pros. You're not playing against guys who are going to go on to be lawyers and physicists and doctors and whatever else they go on to be after they get done playing college football. No, when you hit the pros, it's the pros. You're playing with absolute grown men. Chanel, thank you. Yep, Chanel. Cowboys drafted LSU linebacker Damone Clark in the 5th round of the 2022 NFL draft despite a serious spinal fusion surgery needed for a herniated disc. Yep. Chanel, again, always dropping them facts. And again, Chanel, they got him in the 5th round, but it didn't turn out. It was discovered at the combine. He said Cowboys medical staff found the injury and he underwent surgery in March 2022. And the Cowboys still got him. Chanel, this is the part that don't make sense to me. And this is what I was telling Jane Slater. You want me to believe. And I know she was only reporting. But Jane Slater and other people were reporting and actually wanting us to believe that the Baltimore Ravens contacted the Dallas Cowboys, Dr. Cooper, and want us to believe that Dr. Cooper told the Ravens, don't take a chance on Max Crosby. Stop it. This same Dr. Cooper has been influential in the Cowboys actually getting some of these injured players that did not pan out. Case in point, Jalen Smith and Damone Clark. I'm not buying it for a second. I'm not buying it for a second. Let's go back and look at some more. Inside the Star, they actually reported on this last year. And they were talking about how the Cowboys continue to gamble on injured players. It says in the 2016 draft, the Cowboys shocked everyone by taking Notre Dame linebacker Jalen Smith. We already talked about that. Smith shredded his knee in his final collegiate game a few months early in the Fiesta Bowl. He's the poster child for why people they back out of those games. The Cowboys team doctor performed the surgery. It says apparently Dallas was convinced by his report. And after failing to trade up the draft, Paxton Lynch selected Smith in the 2nd round. So you telling me that same doctor who convinced the Cowboys to get Jalen Smith convinced the Baltimore Ravens not to get Max Crosby? I have a bridge in London I want to sell you to. It said he would start 48 games for the Dallas the next 3 seasons because he said after the first season, recording a total of 417 tackles, 8 sacks, 2 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, and 5 fumble recoveries over that stretch. But Jalen Smith was never what he was in college. He just wasn't. Says he fell off the table in 2021. I mean, the Cowboys have done this over and over and over and over. Again, I didn't even know Schoonmaker was a player that was coming off injury. But again, the Cowboys got Savon Revel Jr. And when Savon Revel Jr. came back last year, we got high hopes for Savon Revel Jr. But if we're being honest, when Savon Revel Jr. came back, we were all a little bit disappointed. Because we thought Schoonmaker was going to when he hit the field, we were like, oh man, Schoonmaker going to be this. Nope. Didn't happen. So let's look at the C.J. Allen report.
Yeah! Here we go!
Because C.J. Allen is another injured player. He's an injured player. And even though he's an injured player, what you cannot take away from him, he is an absolute monster of a player. He is a monster of a player. There are a couple of reports that came out on C.J. Allen. Let me see here. We got 2 of these reports from the Landry hat. Cowboys, of course, were at his pro day. The Cowboys whipped on the linebacker market in free agency, missing on players like Devin Lloyd, Nakobe Dean, and Quay Walker. There is now talk that the Cowboys may be looking at Bobby Wagner. And I'll be honest with you. I really think the Cowboys should look at maybe bringing in, maybe they should bring him in just for 1 year. Bring him in for 1 year. Because short of Sonny Styles, I just don't know. You know, I think you may want to bring in a Rodriguez and kind of bring him up to, just work him in and just work him in and let him get up to speed. and put him in situations. But, just asking a linebacker to come right out of college, unless it's a Sonny Styles type of linebacker, it's going to be a tall glass. Chanel said, G, let me ask you in the chat a question. Did Dr. Cooper tell Jerry to get these players, or did Jerry override Dr. Cooper riddle me that? Man, you know what? I think it might be a combination of the two. It might be a combination of the two. But I've heard, it's almost like people want us to believe that Cooper is either saying yay or nay. I'm not sure what he's doing. But all I know is, with him being the Cowboys doctor, Cowboys have picked up some of these players. And I do remember Dr. Cooper. Dr. Cooper was one of the ones who was saying that Jalen Smith was going to get back to what he was before. If I'm not mistaken, Cooper was one of the guys that was saying that too. Lisa Worley, or at least that's what they were saying he was saying. All right, so the Cowboys missed on linebacker in free agency. So now this creates a very serious need going into this draft. And so one of the players the Cowboys are looking at, because it says there was one point this offseason where Sonny Styles was the consensus pick at number 12, but after dominating the NFL Combine, he rarely gets out of the top 7 selections. Yeah, I'm telling y'all right now, if the Cowboys want Sonny Styles, I would love for the Cowboys to give up a 12 and a third. But if the Cowboys want Sonny Styles, if we're really being real, the Cowboys probably going to have to come off a first, probably going to have to come off a 12 and a 20 to get Sonny Styles. I really do. I think they're going to have to come off a 12 and a 20 to get Sonny Styles. Because he's that good of a it is rare when you get a player who is so off the chart on the field and is equally off the chart at the combine. Sonny Styles was incredible. He was incredible. You're just looking at him like, okay, this dude is a Marvel comic hero. He's a Marvel comic hero. Or you can say he's a Marvel comic villain. But Sonny Styles is off the chain. I don't think he's going to it may be too rich for the Cowboys, especially with as many players as they need. It may be too rich for the Cowboys to even go up and get Sonny Styles. And I just don't know if anybody is going to give up Sonny Styles. Because I don't know about y'all, but I just wouldn't give up Sonny Styles. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give up Sonny Styles. You'd have to be giving me a king's ransom if I'm the team in line to get Sonny Styles, especially if I'm trying to build my team, like if I'm the Tennessee Titans and Robert Saleh, or if I'm the New York Giants with Harbaugh over there and what he already has on defense. The Cowboys would literally have to offer me around 4 draft picks for me to give up a player like Sonny Styles. I'm just being real. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I think Sonny Styles is just that kind of player. But I digress. So C.J. Allen, he's a 230-pound linebacker. Now, from everything I'm hearing, he's a little undersized. Here's something that's very concerning. Didn't run at the combine. Didn't run in his pro day. You're gonna see why in a minute. He was a 4-star recruit, number 4 ranked linebacker. College production, 41 games, 205 tackles, 13 and a half tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. Very quick kid. Positives. Very, very reliable tackler. Yes, he is. Very reliable tackler who missed just 20 tackles and 1,600 snaps. That's actually incredible. Elite run defender, back-to-back seasons with a grade of 88.5 run defense. Packs some power when tackling, doesn't allow much after contact despite short frame. Has a short frame, he's a short linebacker. Doesn't have elite speed, but plays under control and doesn't overrun plays very often. Well, he probably can't because he's, as you just said, he doesn't have elite speed. Can outmuscle and overwhelm players who are much bigger than him. Isn't afraid to throw his body around. Makes very few mistakes in the run game. Always seems to be in the right place and maintains gap integrity. Does have a knack for seeing plays develop before they happen. Instincts are above average for the position. 3 years of starting experience. Became a full-time starter in Week 11 of the 2023 season. Only 21 years old. Yeah. Not really concerned about the measurables. I'm just not as concerned about the measurables. What I'm concerned about is the injury. Is the injury that he's coming off of. He's a very smart player. It says he doesn't have the size of a traditional downhill linebacker, but he plays with speed, power, and violence. He was a signal caller for the Georgia's defense. He got everyone lined up in the right spot. Teams that value toughness and a smart linebacker play over elite coverage. Athletes will love Allen early in the draft. He sounds like a guy that Christian Parker would possibly be looking for. Very smart football player. But I also, I'm wondering him being undersized, even though Nakobe Dean was undersized for a linebacker. But understand something about Nakobe Dean. One of the things that plagues Nakobe Dean is injuries. Smaller frame, very tough, very good tackler, willing to mix it up, but it costs him sometimes too because of that smaller frame. He seems to get injured. Negatives. Does not have the size for a linebacker with his play style. Exactly. He plays big. But he isn't big. Could get overwhelmed by bigger blockers and runners at the next level. Yeah, these are the pros. Below average length with just 31 3/8 arms. Will have a hard time disengaging from blockers at the next level. He looked notably slower on tape in 2025 than he did in 2024. Is he already showing signs of wearing down? I heard somebody make a very interesting point the other day. Somebody made a very interesting point about these players that play for Georgia, these players that play for Alabama, these players that play in the SEC. I think they made a very good point. They were talking about how these players who play on those teams, they get beat up more than players that play in other divisions. They're in the playoffs. They got a little bit more of an extended season. I mean, they're getting beat all the way down. And so they're saying this, a player like him who has been in college as long as he has, maybe he's worn down from a lot of what he's been doing in college already. He says he does not have the speed or length to match up in man-to-man coverage, gets lost in zone coverage more often than not, doesn't show much of a feel for knowing where receivers are behind him, not much of a playmaker, only one interception despite over 700 career snaps in coverage, doesn't have a great feel as a blitzer, no pass rush plan, and relies on his physicality to overcome blockers or overwhelm blockers. So, C.J. Allen without injuries. C.J. Allen without injuries is already questionable. But C.J. Allen is coming off of an injury. Some people say that C.J. Allen is a round 2 draft grade. But they're saying that the Cowboys are looking at taking him in the first round. But the really big problem I see about this with C.J. Allen is the fact that C.J. Allen is coming off of an injury, and that injury is affecting what he's done now. It affected him at the combine. Now it affected him at his pro days. And even before the injury, the pros and the cons are already telling you he's undersized. He's already not a burner. And man, the moment you start messing around with linebackers and guys like that knees, man, you're asking for problems. And so the Cowboys were at that pro day. And so he is coming off of a meniscus injury. And I'm starting to really question this because, so you're telling me that you're telling me that Max Crosby is coming off a meniscus injury and the Ravens ran from him and people are saying that the Cowboys should run from him. But now we got C.J. Allen with a meniscus injury and we're saying, or the consensus is, go get C.J. Allen? Is it because he's younger? I don't know, man. I'm struggling with that. It says reports out of the combine suggest Dallas won't be drafting Tennessee cornerback Jamad McCoy. So they're talking about what the Cowboys, kind of looking at some of these players that are hurt. It says he's recovering. He didn't play all of 2025 as he recovered from a torn ACL. Another star player may now be thrown in that same bucket. It is C.J. Allen. So they're saying the same thing about the Cowboys. It said about C.J. Allen's ascent about Jamon McCoy. It says, according to ESPN's Jordan Reed, Allen only took part in positional drills at Georgia's Pro Day and skipped testing due to knee swelling stemming from a minor procedure to repair a torn meniscus suffered in mid-November. Man, it's mid-March. It's mid-March. Max Crosby was just coming off of crutches. It's mid-March. And C.J. Allen couldn't run. I mean, I don't know exactly what the time frame is on his injury, but C.J. Allen didn't run at the combine. And surely if you're not going to run at the combine, you got to run at your own pro day. But he didn't. He did positional drills out there, and people said he looked pretty good in the positional drills. People said he looked pretty good in the positional drills, but I don't know, man. If I'm the Cowboys, I am steering clear of any kind of injury. I'm steering clear of these injuries. I'm just staying clear of it. Any player coming off an injury that I have to wait on, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. There are a couple of linebackers out there that people are throwing their name around for the Cowboys, and they could probably get those linebackers later in the draft. One of those linebackers is Anthony Hill Jr. But I'm going to tell you the linebacker that's starting to impress me more and more and more. And that linebacker is Jacob Rodriguez. I want to do some more research on Jacob Rodriguez. But the thing that's impressive to me about Jacob Rodriguez is that Jacob Rodriguez is an ex-quarterback. And when you tell me that a kid is an ex-quarterback and he's playing linebacker, one, you already know what kind of mind that he has. But two, he understands pass concepts. He understands, he can see things in a way that a quarterback would see them and not just a linebacker would see them. You would think that he's that kind of player where he can kind of have a feel for how plays are developing, even having an anticipation of where a quarterback may be going. I mean, even his film work is probably going to be different than somebody that's not a quarterback. I like Jacob Rodriguez. I believe the Cowboys should trade back at number 20 and get Jacob Rodriguez. Jeremy Best said Bobby Wagner will give you that veteran presence in the locker room and help the next middle linebacker or green dot backer to take the helm next season and help develop them to be an effective cerebral leader at the middle linebacker position. Yeah, at this point, I would not mind the Cowboys. I would not mind the Cowboys getting Bobby Wagner, because I really think it alleviates some things in the trade. It really does. Chanel said, I have a great idea. He said to the Saints pick at 8, we pick 12. Why does Jerry not call Gail Benson and tell her, can't they draft Sonny Styles at 8 and we draft C. Tate wide receiver at 12? You talking about we draft C. Tate wide? Oh, no, we're not drafting a wide receiver. At least I don't think we are. He says we did ship each player off to respective team, and there's no rules against two teams doing that. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do a wide receiver. That's what we're kind of talking about. Yeah, because I think George Pickens is the play. I think George Pickens is going to play. Newhouse fam, what's going on? I think George Pickens is going to be that wide receiver. I think he's going to have to play on that. I think he's going to have to play on that tag. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Buster Budget said, I think Orville Reese will be a better linebacker than Styles. Okay, so let's look at this real quick as we get ready to look at C.J. Allen's film. See, the problem for the Cowboys, it's very simple to me. The problem for the Cowboys, Buster Budget, Newhouse fam, is that they didn't get a linebacker at all in free agency. So now this has created You really can't get the BDPA. I call that the best defensive player available. And really, it's the best defensive player available that you need. So the Cowboys desperately need a linebacker. I just don't think there's any way Orville Reese is going to be there. And I think even Sonny Styles is going to be a stretch. I mean, this is the biggest problem the Cowboys are going to have. This is the biggest problem they're going to have. And I'll be honest with you. Jacob Rodriguez at number 5. I mean, or the 5th best linebacker. Jacob Rodriguez may very well be their 20th pick. They may not even take a chance on going backwards. They may just get the 20 and say Jacob Rodriguez. But Sonny Styles, man, you're talking about him and Orville Reese. I mean, there has got to be something absolutely crazy going on in front of the Cowboys in order for them to get Orville Reese. Because this becomes the problem for players like Orville Reese, Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles. This becomes the problem, and even Caleb Downs. I'm going to use those 4 players in particular. This is the problem. So let's just say at number 2, if the Jets were to say, well, we're not getting Orville Reese, so does the Arizona Cardinals change what they're doing and say, well, we're going to get Orville Reese? Does Robert Saleh at number 4 say, Orville Reese, y'all didn't get Orville Reese? We'll get Orville Reese. New York Giants, if Orville Reese is there at 5, maybe they say, we want Orville Reese over Sonny Styles. And so when you talk about players like this, sometimes we think, we say, oh, wow, the Jets are not going to get Orville Reese, so surely he's going to fall to the Cowboys. Well, we don't know other teams' draft boards. Because I'm sure other teams have these players on their draft board too. That if that player is there, we're going to take that player and we're not going to take this player. So the problem with an Orville Reese, the problem with a Jeremiah Love, the problem with a Sonny Styles, the problem with a Reuben Bain Jr., the problem with a Caleb Downs. Those 5 players, if the projected team doesn't get them, then the team behind the projected team, that changes their draft too. Because they're not going to pass those players up. I don't see any way. I'll be honest with you. I just don't see any way that Orville Reese gets to the Cowboys. Sonny Styles could maybe get into a trade range. Maybe. But it's going to, I'm just going to be real with us. We got a number 12 pick. And we're really excited about it, and we should be. We have a number 12 pick. You know what's crazy? There may not be a player worth a number 12 pick by time we come up the draft. That is crazy. That is crazy when you think about it. There may not be a player worth number 12 when we get there. May not be worth that 12th pick. And so what do the Cowboys do? Do they reach? Do the Cowboys reach with the number 12 pick? What do? This is a tough one, man. I'm telling you. Megan says, gee, you think trading both the 1st and the 5th gets Sonny Styles? I think to get Sonny Styles, you'd have to do a 12 and a 20. I really do. I believe you're going to have to do a 12 and a 20 to get a Sonny Styles. I don't know, because I'm just thinking about myself. I mean, he's a generational player. Sonny Styles, after watching the tape, watching the combine, I'm not giving up Sonny Styles for a 1st-round pick. Man, Cowboys can come talking to me about a 1st-round pick all day long. I'd laugh the Cowboys out of here. I'm not playing. I would laugh the Cowboys out of town if they came talking to me about, yeah, we want to give you a 12 for Sonny Styles. Pfft, people in hell want ice water. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. They would have to be talking about a 12 and a 20. And if I'm really thinking crazy, and if I really value Sonny Styles the way that I'm pretty sure some people in this draft are going to value Sonny Styles, if I'm drafting, if I'm valuing him like that, I mean, you might even have to give me your 12, your 20, and maybe even a third next season. Sonny Styles seems to be a generational player. So we got the Cowboys at number 12. And there may not be a player that's worth that number 12 pick. I mean, if you're the Cowboys, honestly, if you're the Cowboys, you're praying Orville Reese, Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, Reuben Bain, Caleb Downs, even Mansour Delane. You're praying at number 12. You're praying that one of those 5 players are there. Because I'm telling you now, Dylan Thieneman at 12, that's a reach. That's a reach for me. I can't do it at 12. I would rather trade that number 12 pick back and get me another second or a third before I took Dylan Thieneman at number 12, because I truly believe that I could still trade back. If I wanted him at 15, 16, or 17, I could still get Thieneman. Ain't no way I'm doing a number 12 at Thieneman. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing Thieneman at number 12. Can't do it. Frank Lloyd said, if anyone who says it's easy is just find another a UDFA with a soccer background. Oh, you talk about Brandon Aubrey. Yeah, that ain't easy as people say it is, man. Demetrius Noel makes a point. There isn't any player in this draft that's worth giving up 2 first and another pick for. Okay. We are starting to enter the realms of complete stupidity. And Demetrius, I'm telling you. But there are people who value Sonny Styles like that. And they're not giving up Sonny Styles for a first-round pick. I mean, I really can't blame them. Sonny Styles is off the charts. Sonny Styles is off the charts. He really is. I think the kid Caleb Downs is off the charts. Caleb is coming off an injury too, but he's off the charts too. Ryx, a fan, he says, no more injury-prone linebackers. Yeah. Yeah. Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch, Sean Lee, need I say more? Yes, sir. So I do think Rodriguez is going to be Carlos Rivera. He says Rodriguez, that man's a turnover machine. Carlos, people got to understand what makes Jacob Rodriguez so special. Ex-quarterback. That's a big deal. Ex-quarterback. Hold on a second. Big Rumbowski has something to say about that. Cedric Hamilton said, gee, how about we not take no defensive player from the SEC due to the wear and the tear of the conference? Yeah, Cedric Hamilton. There are people making a very good argument about not taking these SEC players because they have so much wear and tear on them because of the competition, because of the bowl games. Man, there are a lot of people who are expressing those sentiments. Wisington says CJ Allen isn't taking a chance. I think it's taking a chance at 12. I would not. If CJ Allen is there in the 3rd, get CJ Allen. In the 12th or the 20th, no, I wouldn't touch CJ Allen with that 12th or 20th pick. Ron Bosky said all of Rodriguez's highlights come from Tech's Pee-wee Big 12 opponents. He said go watch him against Oregon, and that technique couldn't stop them from running down their throats. Okay. Bust the budget. He says it's Rodriguez. He said it's Rodriguez. Okay, Chanel said you're not understanding. Okay, I'm gonna look back at it. Hold on a second. Skeptical fan said I'm skeptical on taking CJ Allen. Me too. With Dak 30 plus, we don't have that kind of time to take those kind of gambles, in my opinion. With a team that wants to win now, we still have 4. Man, I like that. That's a t-shirt. Oh, I get you. You said, you promised the Saints that you're going to draft Connell Tate, the wide receiver they wanted 12, and they draft Sonny Styles, and then you switch. Got you. I got you, Chanel. I got you. Frank Lawrence, he said, what happened? Pundits just now started peddling C.J. Allen to the Cowboys at 12. Well, the Cowboys are at that pro day, and so a lot of people are talking about it too. Yeah. Sebastian Shaw said, watch linebacker Anthony Hill Jr. film. He is stiff. I can't, maybe a fourth round. See, Sebastian, you know what's crazy, man? Man, this is the crazy part, man. The crazy part is, for as excited as we were for this number 12 and number 20 pick, the reality is the players that are worth those picks, they just might not be there. So it might be way, 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 way smarter for the Cowboys. How about you trade backwards on both of those picks? Trade that number 12 to number 15 or 16. Trade that number 20 somewhere around 25. And then you go in, get players, and have 2 extra draft picks. That 12 could probably get you a second. That 20 could probably get you a third. So you would have a second round pick. You would still have your 2 first round picks. You're just swapping places. Then you're going to get you you'll get your second round pick. Then you'll get you an extra third round pick. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm sorry, I would be wheeling and dealing that number 12 and that number 20. The only way I'm keeping that number 12, I'm telling y'all now, if your name isn't Reese, Love, Styles, Bain Jr., Downs, or Delane, I'm trading that number 12 pick. I'm trading that number 12 pick. But I'm trading it, and I'm going to get who I want. I am going to trade that number 12 pick. Because there's no point in reaching. I mean, there's really no point in reaching. Now you just say, I'll trade that number 12 pick. I'll go in here. If I want Thieneman, I'll get Thieneman at 15 or 16. I'll get Thieneman. If he's not there, it don't even matter to me at that point. I'll get one of the top 5 safeties. I'll get one of the top 5 edge rushers left. I'll get one of the top 5 linebackers left. Whatever the case may be, I'll still be able to get them no matter where I am between 12 and 17, I'm sure. Rodriguez, I guarantee you the Cowboys can still get Rodriguez, even if they traded all the way back to 32. The Cowboys can get Rodriguez. He is not projected as a first round linebacker, I believe. But if I were the Cowboys, I'd play it safe, probably get somewhere around 23, 24, 25, and I would draft him around that number, and I would pick up 2 more picks because the Cowboys now need quantity. They need quantity. So if I were the Cowboys, that's what I would do. I'd pick up a couple of extra picks and trade back. Ron Hanna said the 2 players I know won't reach us is Reese and Bain Jr. Won't be at 12, I promise you. Yeah, I don't think so either. And I don't think Styles is going to be there either. Mose Logan, I would say trade up for the Cowboys. I just think they need players. I just think they need more players. But again, if they trade up, Mose Logan, when you call somebody talking about trading up, what's up, El Chuco? Hey, when you call somebody and you start talking about trading up, you got to give up some things. And if you call somebody, they're not going to want just a 12. I think they're going to want a 12 and a 20. You might be able to get somebody for a 12 and a 3. But I just think Sonny Styles, call me crazy. I just think Sonny Styles is worth more than a 12 and a third. I'm sorry. If he's what everybody think he is, well, Sonny Styles, man, you got to get 2 first-round picks. You absolutely do. You do. You have to get 2 first-round picks. Now, if I were the Cowboys, if I could do a 12 this year and the first-round pick from next year, okay, I'll roll with it. But I just think Sonny Styles is going to be at least minimum 2 first-round picks. Ron Bowser said, no more wasting time and picks on players from the Pee Wee, Big 12, MAC, WAC, and all these other BS conferences. NIL has made it simple. The B1G and the SEC are where the talent lies. Yeah. But again, I think people are making a pretty good argument about some of those players in those bigger conferences, man. They're beat up. Yeah, they're beat up. Bust the budget. I absolutely agree with you. Love may be the best running back we've seen since Zeke. He may be the best running back we've seen since Zeke come into this league. Love going to be a problem in the league, but fans also forget about Jonah Coleman from Washington. He's the number 2 running back in the draft. Yeah, that's too high for the Cowboys blood. Okay, Chanel. And now again, Chanel, I'm not suggesting per se we do it. I'm just saying that's what people are going to be asking for Sonny Styles. Because if Sonny Styles is that good, Chanel, combine, pro day, I'm sure, and his tape, there is no team that's going to take a first round pick for Sonny Styles. But I'll tell you this, I would definitely inquire. I mean, it don't hurt to ask. It never hurt to ask, does it? Shoot, I'd ask, that's for sure. Rodney Evans said if you look at the tree value, you can give that 12 pick of the next year 3 to the Saints, and you got some style if the Saints decide to do it. Yeah, I would definitely make some calls. What up, Bass? Good to see you, Bass. Chanel said other undervalued good college linebackers under the radar, Jake Golday, okay? And Chanel, this is where scouting is going to come in. Chanel said Kyle Lewis, gained a notice as one of the most impressive defenders during the scouting events. Yeah. That's the issue. It's going to require scouting now. And if I'm the Cowboys, then my scouting department has got to help me to, okay, I'm going to trade back, and I know we can get these other players if we trade back. So let's get more value for these picks. I got a strange feeling this is what the Cowboys are going to do. Chanel said, Sonny Styles is not a generational talent. He says in 5 years, none of these so-called players will not be able to sniff Lawrence Taylor's shoes. Hey, but that's a whole different ball game, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, sir. Yeah, Frank Lawrence said, yeah. He said, yes, sir, Pastor G. Agree all this speculation goes out the window once those teams start claiming players no one thought. Got to stick to the BPA, no second guessing, no pre-injured players. Exactly. Because the moment somebody gets out of this order, and let's just say this is the order. I don't think this is the order, but this is the projected order. The only one I think that for sure is going to be the number one pick, but watch this. Wouldn't it blow everybody's mind? Wouldn't it blow everybody's mind if the Raiders didn't get Fernando Mendoza? Would it absolutely blow everybody's mind? I'm going to tell y'all something. Call me crazy. I've been called crazy before. With what the Raiders are doing defensively, if I were the Raiders, I'd do something that nobody expects. I would get Orville Reese with that pick. If I were the Raiders, I would get Orville Reese with that pick. If I'm the Raiders, I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to build up a championship level defense. Fernando Mendoza, man, I'll be honest with you. I might delay getting a quarterback. I might go get Kirk Cousins and see if we can roll with Kirk Cousins. Can we get Kirk Cousins, get an offense in here where Kirk Cousins only has to throw the ball about 20 times a game? I'd beef up that running game. Looks like they got a good running game. I'd beef up that offensive line, get that running game strong. And if I were the Raiders, I'd go defense. I wouldn't go Fernando Mendoza. I wouldn't. Wouldn't do it. Would not do it. I've been hearing a lot of people say Fernando Mendoza is not worth that number one pick. If I were them, I'd get Orville Reese. I would absolutely get Orville Reese. I think there's a chance that the Raiders are going to trade Max Crosby on draft day. I still think that's a chance. If I were them, I'd throw everybody for a loop. I would actually trade with the Jets. Hey, let's flip these picks. Let's flip these picks. You give me your first round pick from next year. Let's flip these picks. I'll let you have Fernando Mendoza. Y'all need a quarterback. Let's flip these picks. I'd flip that pick. I'd flip that pick even, man, I'm telling you, I would do work with those picks if I were the Raiders. Why get Fernando Mendoza? Why? No, I would build up a championship defense. I would do exactly what Seattle did. Seattle went and got Sam Darnold. Man, I go, Man, I go get me Kirk Cousins, have everybody head spinning. I'd have a defense I would get me a Kirk Cousins proof defense. I really would. I really would. Yeah, Bass said Reese is not going to be there when we're on. No, he's not going to be there. Chanel said, gee, the perfect place for us would be to have the 7th and the 15th pick. We would be in the draft heaven. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that's our problem. That's really our problem. We have a great draft position where there may not be good players worth the 12th round pick. I mean, the 12th overall pick in the first round. It's crazy. It's crazy to even think about. Bama Boy said exactly. Trade both spots to acquire 2 extra picks. Then we'll have 10 total picks. That's what I would do. There is not a player, if they are not those names that I mentioned, they're not worth that 12. So if it was me, I'd trade down. Sebastian, you're right, though. You're right. Caleb Downs. Sebastian, there is a danger. Caleb Downs could actually fall to the Cowboys, too. So I'm not sure if those guys done their pro day yet. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, though, Sebastian Shaw. I'll be honest with you. I heard about those. I heard about the knee injury he's coming off of, too. I would just be honest with you. Sebastian, I just wouldn't touch any injured players. I wouldn't touch any players coming off injury. I just wouldn't. I mean, unless you're telling me they're coming off a pinky injury. I mean, if it's a broke finger or something, I'm cool. But I'm not dealing with any players coming off these knee injuries. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I don't want to deal with any players coming off these knee injuries. Buster Budget said Thieneman is a ball hawk, but not a good tackler in open field. See, and that's why I say for Thieneman, you could get Thieneman on down the line if you wanted him to. All right, so let me move up a little bit. Appreciate y'all rocking women tonight. Katharina Kiss, I agree with you. Katharina Kiss said, hit that like button. Let's go. And she asked so nice. Hit that like button, please. Andy Jones, you're right. Notice what I said. If it was me, I'm not the Raiders. Andy Jones, you are exactly right. The Raiders are not passing on Mendoza, but I would. I'm telling you right now, I would pass on Mendoza. I would build my defense. I absolutely would. I'd build my defense. There'll be better quarterbacks coming out next year. Mendoza is the number 1 quarterback this year because we have a very weak quarterback class. Very weak quarterback class. Demetrius Noel said, gee, I'm not buying that Mendoza as a franchise quarterback. It wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders took another player. Yeah. Demetrius, there's a lot of people that have been saying this about Mendoza, that they don't believe he is that player. They've been saying it. They've been saying that he is not that player. So he's not that player for sure. My man Chanel, he said the Cowboys, he said we need to talk to the Cowboys about those scouting jobs. He said myself, you and Ron Hanna can do a better job than they done. He said, who can forget Mozzie and Taco Charlton and Maurice Claiborne? Boy, yeah. Demetrius Noel said, I wouldn't select Mendoza. He reminds me of Danny Warfield. Yep. I'm telling you, if it was me, if I were the Raiders, man, I'm going defense on them boys, man. I'm going to shock everybody on draft day. Not only am I going to go defense, I'm going to make a trade. I'm going to make a trade and get me an extra 2nd round pick or either an extra 1st round, or I might get me an extra 1st round next year and an extra 2nd round this year, and I'm going to build a defense that is going to be unstoppable. I'm going to build me a defense that is going to be unstoppable. Okay, so let's go to the film, because I thought it would only be right talking about C.J. Allen if we went to the film. Because I do think you have to look at this kid's film. Let me see here. You have to look at this kid's film too. And so let's see. So this is C.J. Allen. This is somebody did something on him. I think they were kind of showing his technique. This is his technique right here. He's definitely undersized for a linebacker. He looks more like a safety to me. All right, that's his the technique. Everybody's been talking about his technique. All right, we got another. Now, this is the film. This is the film that you will want to see. Butter Aubrey put this film together on CJ Allen. He said, don't let the video. Now, we're going to show his pro day videos. Now, CJ Allen said, don't let those videos from yesterday fool you. CJ Allen is worth it. All right, let's check this out. We'll probably have to go back and delete this after the stream is over. All right, don't know if we're going to get no sound on that one, but let's see. All right, this is his film. No, let's see. No, can't get no sound on this. Make sure. All right, we'll put a little music behind it. All right, this is him. Check him out.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him.
It is obvious he's a great tackler.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him.
Yeah, there's no doubt he can play the game.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless
He can definitely play. But you can tell, I mean, you can just tell even looking at him though, he doesn't really have the speed, but I think where he makes up for that is the anticipation. The instinct and the anticipation is where he makes up for a lot of that. But you can just tell looking at him, he doesn't have speed like.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him,
Got very good instincts. Yeah.
Bless 'em, bless 'em, bless 'em, bless 'em, bless 'em, bless 'em.
Yeah, they were already talking about they were already talking about Bama Boy. That, you know, they mentioned that is one of his cons. He has some pass coverage in there, but they also kind of mentioned that they thought he could be a liability in pass coverage. They said he gets lost in pass coverage. So we'll see there. Chanel said he has great closing speed. Okay. He's a little rich for me coming off of an injury. He's a little rich for me, but y'all tell me what y'all think. I just, and we're going to see tomorrow what we'll do. We're going to get some film on Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is the play for the Cowboys. Now, I'll tell you what I would do if I were the Cowboys. There is a possibility that CJ Allen could be there at that third round. If CJ Allen is there in the third round, I believe that's going to be the play. I believe the play will be the third round. Now, if you told me you could get CJ Allen in the third round, and then you make sure let him heal up and all those things, if you told me you could get him in the third round, I would be like, okay, that's a great player to pick up in the third round. That's a great player to pick up in the third round. You could do some things with him picking him up in the third round. Because you don't, then you get him in the third round, he's not what you say, he's an immediate player. He's an immediate player. So, but I believe Rodriguez is going to be the play with that number 20 pick. And I do believe they're going to trade back and they're going to get him with that. Whatever they trade back with, they're going to get Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez is the play. All right, let's go to his pro day, though. And this is what everybody is talking about. It's his pro day. And you can see it without a shadow of a doubt. Something is not right with him as he's doing these things on his pro day. And I don't understand, why would they allow him to do this? Why would they do it? I just would have like not let him do anything. But, you know, I was listening to Brian Broaddus say that sometimes coaches will talk players, even though they're not probably healthy enough to do certain things, that they will ask them to do certain things anyway. But I wouldn't have done it. So let's check him out right here. This is his pro day. And this is what everybody's been talking about. Check this out. That right there. Mm-mm. 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 I'm struggling with that, guys. I'll be honest with you. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm struggling with that. Maybe I could do a third, like I said, a third, but I can't do a first for CJ Allen. And you can clearly tell that there is no doubt about it. This dude is not right. Look at this. Look. This does not look like a first-round linebacker. You can tell. Just look at the little hop that he made. Nah, see, he didn't want to come down on that knee. Anybody notice how odd of a jump that is? See, typically when you would make that jump, you would come down on that right foot and immediately start running. Notice when he makes that hop. He hops off the left, comes down. I think that's his left. Watch how he jumps. Jumps off the left, come down on the left. Nah, that ain't right. You normally jump and it's not right. Yep. So you can tell there's something going on. And this is what everybody was talking about in the pro day. He did not do himself any favors in the pro day. He really did not. He really did not. And this would have me very apprehensive if I were the Cowboys. I would be more leaning towards, okay, let's see if he's there maybe in the third. If he's there in the third, yes. But if you're telling me first or second, no, because those players need to play right now. He's not ready to play right now. He's not ready to play right now. And so he's a player for me, maybe a future project third round, but got one more here. These things are circulating all over X. Yeah, you're right, Katharina Kiss. He's babying that right knee. There is no doubt about it. He is babying that right knee. I mean, you can tell. Yeah, that's tough. And this is why I'm laughing because, you take a player like, because this is kind of what happened to Max Crosby. Max Crosby was a week off of crutches. And so the Ravens bring in Max Crosby, and I don't know what they put him through, but, man, everybody knew Max Crosby wasn't going to be able to do anything coming right off them crutches. And so this guy right here, what I'm concerned about, if I'm not mistaken, they said he had this thing in mid-November, and it's now mid-March, and he's still, I mean, I don't know how long it would take him to get there, but he don't look right to me. He don't look right to me. Yeah, Nigel, that's what I was saying about Jacob Rodriguez. I'm sorry, about Rodriguez. Rodriguez is a former quarterback. And so for me, that in itself puts him in a different level of thinking because he thinks like a quarterback still too. Mr. Range Rover said, I think we're going to trade for a vet linebacker, so hopefully we will see what they do. Yeah, I think there's going to be a trade. I think there'll be a trade on draft day of some sort. I really do think there's going to be a trade. Rombowski said, gee, what are you worried? He said, gee, what are you worried about? He said, just stop already. Jerry's going to draft another offensive tackle. He said, go get him. Hey, Rombowski, you said that he might do it for real. You never know. Do I said, for the life of me, I'll let you take this one. Bill Gamer said Jerry wouldn't dare, man. I hope not. I hope he wouldn't, man. Bro, Hannah said, can you see him trying to cover Bijan out of the backfield or Barkley or Gibbs? And from the tape, we can't move. He can't move well in space. I'm sorry, we have too many guys on this team that looks just like him. Yeah, man. Man said knee check engine light popped on. Keek says same as Hoss. He's safety from LSU. He's a former quarterback. Watch out for him in the third round. Yeah, because he wants them smart players. Chanel said Jacob Rodriguez, an instinctive playmaker who recorded 128 tackles and 7 forced fumbles, showing high football intelligence. Yeah, man, Jacob Rodriguez is the player that I think he's going to be the first round linebacker. And the Cowboys might not take a chance, and they probably will just draft him with the 20th overall. But I think they could go back to 25 and still get him. Because if I were the Cowboys, I'd try to get me either a third or another fourth. Chanel said, while highly rated, his ability to dominate as both an inside linebacker and edge rusher makes him arguably the most explosive and well-rounded defender in the class. Yeah, you're talking about the Anthony Hill Jr. guy? Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing his name coming up. So that's kind of where we are on that. I just don't want the Cowboys to, force this thing with CJ Allen. I just don't want them to do it. I just think there are players out there the Cowboys could get other than CJ Allen. I mean, if you can get him somewhere down the line, if he just plummets, you can go and get him somewhere else. Yeah, you can go get him somewhere else. I got an extra video too. I want to show us real quick. Caleb Downs is another one of these players coming off of an injury, and I'm a little bit concerned about him. He may actually fall in the draft too, and if he falls to number 12, even coming off an injury, I'm struggling hard with these injured players. But I got a strange feeling the Cowboys would actually take a chance. I think they would actually take a chance on Caleb Downs. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Would y'all take a chance on Caleb Downs in the first round, coming off an injury? I'm going to let y'all hear Joel Klatt. See if we can pull this up. Joel Klatt was talking about Caleb Downs. So this is a bonus. Y'all tell me would y'all take a chance on Caleb Downs coming off an injury? Najee Nightingale, he said the whole doggone draft is crippled. He said the whole draft is crippled. Man. All right, let's listen to him talk about Caleb Downs.
Another one in this draft that's going to fall under that is Caleb Downs. I'm starting to hear these little well, is he big enough? I'm like, just watch the tape. He comes in as a 5-star player his true freshman year and starts for Nick Saban at Alabama, leads them in tackles. All SEC, all American caliber defender. Transfers to Ohio State. They build the entire defense around him in the middle of the year once he's there, and they're like, no. He's
Fred, I remember Michael Downs.
Of the defense, and that's a defense that goes on to win the national championship. And he's the focal point of a defense that was the best defense in college football a year ago. This guy, there's an old adage that one of my old coaches talks about, or used to say, and you could turn on the tape and you could just look and watch, and there's guys flash, and there's just football playing Jesse's.
I agree.
That's Caleb Downs. And I'm starting to hear, I heard one GM be like, oh, he's not big enough for us.
Yeah, I want to see him. I think we have something of him. Do we have something? I think we have. Oh, I didn't get to see it. I was looking. I want to see him a little bit. I don't know enough about him. I like how you're talking about him, though.
He's going
small,
to
yeah.
be.
I mean, he is smaller, but I kind of like it.
He will be an All-Pro. So was Honey Badger.
Fair. So that's you're comping him to Tyron?
Oh, 100%. This guy is like Ed Reed and Honey Badger mixed together.
Wait, whoa. Hold on, man. Man, when you start mentioning names like Ed Reed, man, I'm like, wait. Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. Man, I get a little nervous when people start trying to compare people to these legendary players. Man, I know most of us know this. Ed Reed is an absolute monster. Man, don't be running around here throwing Ed Reed. Man, don't be running around here throwing Ed Reed name out there, man. Don't be throwing Ed Reed name out there. Ed Reed is a different type of player, man. Man, he stepped off an alien spaceship. Ed Reed different. And Chanel, I heard the same thing, Chanel. Caleb Downs was flagged at the NFL Combine for a partially torn meniscus and a potentially degenerative ACL. Yeah, he's a pass for me.
He's the smartest player on the field.
He's a pass for me.
He's unbelievable at the line of scrimmage. He can blitz. He can play center field. He can play the slot. He can play in man. He can play in zone. Understands the game. He'll be the captain of your defense. He'll be the face of your organization. He's going to be
Jeremy Betts. Touche, I agree.
Absolute no-brainer, and everyone's concerned about his size. It's a joke.
You have him going 12 overall to Dallas, my producer wrote in here. Is he like Kyle Hamilton-y? I know the size comp isn't.
Not as big as Kyle Hamilton.
But like up here?
I want the Giants to take him. Yes.
Yeah, mentally, me too.
He's the smartest player on the field.
I want the Giants to take him too.
Got it.
For sure.
You want the Giants to take him
Giants.
Because I think he fits what John Harbaugh would do. defensively because of the Kyle, the Baltimore safeties
Yeah.
and the history
Bust the
of
budget.
that,
It's crazy to
and
say
the way
Caleb
that they
Downs.
play
Every,
defense, the
I'm
way
like,
they
come
wanna
on,
play
man. These people got to
defense.
stop.
Very Downsy, I would call it. Caleb Downsy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bass.
But I think that
The
they'll
larger
probably go
heavyweight
with Tate
linebackers, they
try
seem to
get
be a lot better.
Jackson
A lot more durable, too.
To pair with neighbors and get more of a downfield threat.
I'm looking at, so let's look at the 2.0 here. So that's.
Yeah,
let's
Frank
see.
Lawrence. I think Bobby Wagner, if you just kind of
looking
look at
at,
what you're going to get,
I just feel like there's this other conversation, Joel, because
I would probably
he
take the
could be
chance
the
on
best
Bobby
player.
Wagner.
He could be better than all these guys. Caleb Downs, when all is said and done. He could just be the best player in the draft.
Oh, that's right.
But taking someone at 5, taking a safety at 5 is just rich. There's like a discussion
tough.
about can you talk me through that? Because the idea of taking a safety that high ever has to be on the table.
Which is why I didn't give him to New York at that point. You're right.
I agree with you,
I think
Catherine, and no more injured
positional
players for
value
sure.
always comes into it. I do think I'm like ripping apart the whole draft process. I think people overthink it. At the end of the day, when you're on the clock as an NFL organization, the ones that are doing it right select the best football players. And they put them on their roster, and then they become the best football players in the NFL. And the teams that get stuck into they have to fit the mold and they have to be the right value at the right pick and have their whole equation.
See, this for me is a no-go again. For as much as I like Caleb Downs, that injury, I don't want the Jerry Jones said himself, no red shirt year. So don't bring in Caleb Downs. Don't bring him in. Would not bring in Caleb Downs, and I'm definitely not putting the number 12 on. I'm not putting the number 12 on Caleb Downs. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. There's a guy out there. He was talking about the.
Here we go.
He was talking about the Cowboys just the other day, saying the Cowboys don't do well in free agency. Well, now he's saying that the Cowboys are changing the way they do things. At least that's what I'm hearing that he said. I didn't watch it yet, so I'm watching it for the first time with y'all. So let's see what he's talking about when he says that the Cowboys are changing. Let's see here. And the reason why he said they're changing is because of Jalen Thompson. Let me see here.
Money. It's the biggest. I think he's a really good get, and he should be. I mean, it's good money. It's the biggest Cowboys free agent since Brandon Carr.
Most expensive safety addition ever.
Yeah, and look, this is an organization that ignores safety.
Yeah.
Since Darren Woodson and Roy Williams, that partnership, and I think the Cowboys felt snake bit that the Roy Williams career did not age properly.
Yep.
Didn't really even get to a second contract, and his body was, not right for the position, a biscuit short of a linebacker, all the stuff they used to say. And I think since then they've kind of ignored the position almost unlike anything else on the roster.
Yep.
And so I
Facts.
I think you see that in the way they
This is absolute facts. The Cowboys have ignored the safety position since Darren Woodson. I could only think of one guy somebody had brought up to. It was Brock Marion. I mean, I can only think of one guy since Darren Woodson that was notable at safety.
play. I think you see that in all these years of having an ordinary defense, and we're like, man, why doesn't Micah do more? Why doesn't Trayvon Diggs do more? And we get really frustrated. The Cowboy culture is, and I get it. It's 30 years, so I understand looking for someone to be mad at. But what I don't always get, and maybe this is just being deep in it, and other people have lives to live, so they're not gonna really try to understand it. But the way we blame like the top 5 Cowboys for the sins of the 53, it's a little bothersome. It's like we never truly appreciate the good players, and when they leave, it's almost like good. We couldn't win with this guy, and then DeMarcus Ware goes and stars in a Super Bowl, and we're like, gosh, maybe DeMarcus Lawrence wasn't that bad. Maybe all the DeMarcus.
A lot of people suddenly appreciated DeMarcus Lawrence stopping the run in unglamorous fashion.
Yeah.
When nobody could stop the run last year off the edge.
Yeah,
Or
it's
anywhere.
It's
for that
this
matter.
really weird thing where it's
Yeah.
like, wow, who knew defense was an 11-man job and it's not a one-man thing. So yeah, I think the positions they've ignored have cost them at times, and so if Christian Parker's saying, look, safety's important, I want 3 on the field. I want my nickel to not be a tiny corner. I want him to be, like a hybrid, hit like a safety, cover like a corner. Who doesn't want one of those? And so I think Jalen is can do all that.
Yeah. I've already said, of all the pickups the Cowboys did, of all the pickups they made, Jalen Thompson is my favorite. I like him even over Rashawn Gary. Yeah, I really like Jalen Thompson. I mean, I think he is going to make a huge impact on the Dallas Cowboys defense. I really do. I think he's going to make a huge impact. It was one of the best things the Cowboys did was go get Jalen Thompson. That to me showed me the Cowboys were serious about defense. And yes, Jerry Jones made a very big mistake letting go of Jordan Lewis. And I got news for all of us. And I believe Kobe Durant is that redemption. Kobe Durant is going to be the Jordan Lewis of the team. Man, Kobe Durant is my second favorite player the Cowboys got in the acquisition of free agents. Kobe Durant I believe the Cowboys got him at the right time because it looks like he was about to burst out as a playmaker. So I like him. I really like him. So the Cowboys really improved their secondary. I want to try to see tomorrow if we can go and grade the Cowboys overall defense, not the free agency, but I want to come back tomorrow and we're gonna grade the Cowboys overall defense because I really think with Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, and then you look at Rashawn Gary, putting them in there, I think now we kind of got the D-line, even though Tito Ogbonnia, we got the D-line, we got the secondary kind of together. I think we're going to go in the draft and probably get another corner. So we're on the verge. We're about 3 players away. And I'm not ruling out anything on draft day. I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys circle the block on Max Crosby. I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys circle the block. I'm not. I'm not sure the Raiders want Max Crosby. I'm not sure. I think they're going to circle the block on Max Crosby. I will not be surprised on draft day. We hear the Cowboys traded away one of those because I don't think they're going to have to give up as much. The Raiders can tell me anything they want to until they get past the draft. I'll believe them. Or let me say that a different way. I'm not going to believe they're keeping Max Crosby until we get past the draft. We get past the draft, it becomes more believable for me. But until we get past the draft, I don't believe the Raiders are wanting to keep Max Crosby. I don't. Frank Lawrence, appreciate that super chat. He said, "Let's talk Cowboys with host Pastor G, best chat on the internet." Yes, sir. I'm telling us, I'm telling you, I am not going to be surprised if they circle the block on Max Crosby the same way they circle the block on George Pickens. G, would you give up a third for Crosby? Max Crosby? I got a feeling the Cowboys may give up a first round for Max Crosby. Especially if they trade back. I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys and Crosby are connected again. I just don't think the Raiders want him. Chanel said, G, I may be proven wrong, but I believe Kobe Durant was one of those undervalued, better pickups. Me and you in the same boat, Chanel. I really believe that Kobe Durant is going to be the Jordan Lewis for us. Yeah, he's going to be the Jordan Lewis for us because Jordan Lewis was 5'11". Jordan Lewis is 5'11". He's 5'11". He got a lot of dog in him, just like Jordan Lewis had. I think he's going to be a great. He's going to be great for us, I believe. Ron Bowski said the Raiders want 2 first-round picks. They're not going to get them. I can tell you now, Ron Bowski, they're not going to get 2 first-round picks, and they know it. Especially after the Dr. Cooper thing, they know they're not getting 2 first-round picks. But I agree with you on that, too. I think they want Pickens. I really do. I think they were targeting the Cowboys. I think they want George Pickens. And with that deal that Denver made with Waddle, there's been people out there talking about, the Cowboys may try to trade Pickens because if you can get a first and a third for Waddle. Well, we already know the Cowboys got 2 first-round picks. They're trying to get for that's the kind of the what they did with the tag, 2 first-rounders. So we already know if a team was going to do it, it's right there for them to do it. Chanel said, "Gee, the max deal is done for the Cowboys. Trust me." Okay, we're going to see. And Chanel, I'll be sold that the deal is done and the Cowboys are not going to circle the block. I'll believe it if he makes it past the draft. James Bowie said, "I wish for once we can get a real GM, someone who watches film and can pick good players like Seattle GM John Schneider. Jerry and them have too many other business interests to do the job." Well, James Bowie, I think where they can help themselves is let Will McClay get with the coaches and get them the players they want, which is what I think they're doing. Najee said they passed on our initial deal. They don't get picked 12 or 20 from us, 3rd and lower or 2027 first. Yeah, I really do think they're going to circle the block. And the Cowboys are going to be able to get him. Bad said he wants the best player. He said he doesn't care if Ruben Bain has short Raptor Rugrat arms. I don't think anybody else does either. That's why he's not going to make it to the Cowboys. I agree with you. Bain ain't making it to the Cowboys. If he does, oh man, boy, we're going to lose our minds. But I don't think he's going to make it to the Cowboys. All right.
Here we go.
Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey is in the news again. Brandon Aubrey. Man, Brandon Aubrey said kickers matter, man. That's all I'm telling you. Brandon Aubrey is saying kickers matter. And Aubrey is out there speaking up, man. And he Aubrey is saying, pay me my money. He wants that money. Aubrey said, pay me. Says here, let's kind of look at this article over here on Brandon Aubrey. Put this time frame, let's see. Brandon Aubrey's in the news again. Said, pay me my money. Says over here, he was on somebody's podcast. We're going to listen to that real quick. Says here, Brandon Aubrey wants to stay with the Cowboys in mid-contract negotiations. Says Brandon Aubrey and the Cowboys did not have the 2025 NFL season they were hoping for. Yep. After beginning the year 6-5-1 and in the hunt for a playoff spot, the Cowboys finished 2025 losing 4 of the last 5 games, dropping to 7-9-1. Aubrey continued to prove he's one of the best kickers in the NFL during his 3rd season in Dallas. Former MLS player made 36 of 42 field goals, good for 85.7%, while also hitting 47 of 48 extra point attempts, totaling 155 points. His 3rd Pro Bowl selection and 3rd All-Pro nod. But, of course, his deal expired here. And so it says, however, those same reports suggest Aubrey is seeking a deal closer to $10 million. I think it's an $8 million deal that he's wanting. I don't think it's 10. You say 10. You say 10 because you probably want 8. Says close to $10 million annually. As negotiations continue, Dallas elected to place a $5.76 million second-round tender on the kicker. It says, however, in the recent episode of The Dumb Zone, Aubrey made a guest appearance and revealed some of the contract reports circulating online are not accurate. Still, it has not bothered Aubrey. He remains focused on his kicking during the offseason. And here it is, as we used to say in the hood,
news for your contract. How does that make you feel to see people talking about what you're going to make?
It's been a lot of incorrect information and just people clinging on to random numbers that have been thrown out. There's incomplete information dumped from probably both sides at this point, and people are trying to make a story out of, scraps of information and filling in holes that they don't have details on. So I don't care about all that. Just focus on kicking the football. If I have a good year, it'll all take care of itself. So that's what I'm going to focus on.
So we have a list going of just like things we see in movies that don't ever happen in real life. And one of Dan's is whenever you see yourself on the news or something and they're talking about you, that you just turn the TV off and you throw the remote down. Have you had to do that?
It's all on Instagram, but no, there was a point in time when I couldn't open Instagram without 40 posts in a row being the same thing about I'm not going to use this app for a while. I got under Jen's skin for a bit. She's probably my biggest defender, and she didn't want people having an opinion formed on me based on false information. So I think it got her really fired up, and she wanted to go take to Instagram by storm and just tell everyone how wrong they are. But I pulled her back, and I think I did a good job. She's now not worried about it anymore either.
Okay, does
Brandon Aubrey, you got you a good one. Boy, you got your woman. You got you a good one when your woman ready to fight for you, boy. boy, you got you a good one. Brandon Aubrey wife said, "Oh no, these are lies." But again, I don't think he's going. I don't think he's $10 million. He knows that's not realistic. Brandon Aubrey is wanting $8 million. I believe that's what he's wanting is $8 million. The Cowboys came at Brandon Aubrey with a 6 point. I bet you if the highest kicker is what's his name, the Bucker kid, and his salary is somewhere around 6.4, I guarantee you Brandon Aubrey said, "Oh yeah, 10." Really saying I want 8. And the Cowboys probably came in talking about, yeah, if the highest is 6.4, we give you 6.5. I mean, you know how the Cowboys do. They like Chris Rock when he was talking about them ribs. Y'all ever see, he was asking like the ribs, how much are them ribs? And they said $10. He said, how many ribs come in that? They said 4 ribs. and I may have the number of ribs off. But Chris Rock said this. He said, how many is that? 4. He said 1, 2, 3, 4. He said, okay, I'll take 1. And the guy said, okay, 1 order. He said, no, 1 rib. 1 rib. That'll be $2.50. 1 rib. I mean, so I'm sure he didn't want no 10. He ain't asked for no $10 million, man. I'm pretty sure Brandon Aubrey is asking for $8 million. And the Cowboys, if the highest paid player is 6.4, the Cowboys said we'll give you 6.4 and a half. So no, I'm sure Brandon Aubrey is not asking for $10 million.
she consult with you before dropping a quick?
Yeah, I let her do that one, and I did the same thing. At that point, it was so overwhelming that felt like just turning the valve on a pressure cooker to open up a little bit to ease the pressure off of us. Because at that point, every time like we looked at our phone, there was 100 DMs or messages saying how selfish and greedy you are, that you need to just take that offer. And like, okay, we didn't get the offer you think we got, so let's just move on. And that's all we wanted to say. And, you know, it did help. Just know that I want to be here in Dallas, and seems like the Cowboys want me here in Dallas. So something will happen eventually.
Yes, sir. See, and this just comes with the territory of being a Dallas Cowboy. That's all it is. It comes with the territory of being a Dallas Cowboy. You start talking about money, and people be out there talking about people be out there lying left and right. And like Brandon Aubrey said, he said, no, they didn't offer us what you think. Now, somebody like me, I'm like, if they offered you 6.5, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for me because I can't kick a field goal 6 yards. That's a lot of money for me. But Brandon Aubrey said, but I can kick a ball 70 yards. So that's not a lot of money for me. I've been kicking on chicken feed for the last 3-4 years. Ryek's a fan. He said she driving him to practice in a 98 Corolla. Aubrey needs to be paid. Yeah, his wife said she ready to start driving Brandon Aubrey to work in a Bentley. I don't blame her, though. I don't blame her. Get your wife whatever you can. Especially if she be with you. Hey, If she there when you driving that 98 Corolla, hey, man, hook up when you get that money. Grabowski said, no, the highest paid kickers now, Fairbairn is $6.5 million. And statistically, he had a better 25 than Aubrey, even if he might not have the strongest leg between them both. Yes, but Brandon Aubrey over the last 3 years has been the best kicker in the league. Absolutely. And also, man, the Cowboys be putting Brandon Aubrey. Man, I bet you Brandon Aubrey after playing with the Dallas Cowboys, playing some of these games with the Dallas Cowboys, man, I bet you Brandon Aubrey had to go home and soak. He had to go home and soak his legs in the bathtub in ice and Epsom salt. Cowboys be having Brandon Aubrey kicking from 61, 68, 65, 69, parking lot. I mean, I bet that dude be putting in work with the Cowboys. Newhouse Buster Buddy said you can make 60 plus yard field goals, but miss an extra point. Some don't add up, but you want 10 million. Man, Newhouse, you only missed one. Yeah, the MKJS, he said, can you break 100? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boy. I know what you're talking about. What's the budget? I really think what he's asking for is $8 million. I don't think it's 9. I think it's $8 million. Yes, sir. Buster Budget. It's Pookie. Yeah, it's $8 million. I think it's $8 million. I think the Cowboys are going to wind up paying him around $8 million. Rod Hess said that don't sound like a guy who wants $10 million to me either, G. Yeah, he didn't want 10. They're lying. It's $8 million. I'm telling you what it is. It's $8 million. It probably won't even be $8 million. It'll probably be around 7.5. I could see it being 7.5 to no more than 8. I don't believe for a second it's no doggone $10 million. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. All right. Frank Lawrence, he said, I insist we absolutely not thinking of the big picture. If we lose our guy Aubrey over $2 to $3 million per year up here in New York, New Jersey, their New York Giants had 4, maybe 5 kickers last season. It cost them games. Cost the Rams games too. It's cost the Green Bay Packers games too. No, I believe the Cowboys gonna pay him, but they're lying. It's $8 million. Right, the fan said they got Aubrey moving like Chick-fil-A. He got him moving like Chick-fil-A fans. Boy, you crazy. Got him moving like Chick-fil-A fans. All right, man. All right, let's hit this next topic on George Pickens.
Yes! Here we go!
Yeah, Chanel, you know what? Yeah, it might be, but I think that's probably what he's going to be getting. I think he's going to, and again, it might not be $8 million. It might be 7.5. It's going to be somewhere between 7 and 8. That's where I believe it is. I believe it's going to be 7 and 8, between 7 and 8. But I do want the Cowboys to extend Aubrey. I really do. But $10 million, it ain't going to happen. And I don't think he was asking for $10 million. The midget said, gee, if Aubrey gets $10 million, we better score him in every possession because the Cowboys should only need to go from my 1 yard line to 25. He should be good. Yo, I tell you this, though. I tell you this. I don't care if the Cowboys do pay him $8 million. I want the Cowboys to stop being so Brandon Aubrey dependent. I really want them to stop being so dependent on Brandon Aubrey. I want them to start kicking less field goals. Start converting some of those doggone third downs. I don't care if you pay him $10 million. I don't want Brandon Aubrey scoring 155 points a year. I would like to see Brandon Aubrey somewhere around 100 something. I want to see us scoring more touchdowns. I really do. I really do. Look like they said he only missed 1 last year, but yeah, you said he's missed a few extra points. All right, let's check out this a couple of quick hits here. Let's look at George Pickens.
Yes! Here we go!
And to be honest with you, the George Pickens news is very simple. There is no news. We don't know what's going on with George Pickens. There is no news. There is no news with George Pickens. None. And that's probably concerning because we don't know if he's going to play on the tag or not. And I think the thing that is really concerning, and what I want to read you is the comment from Mr. Calvin Watkins. This is basically the news. Having placed the $27.3 million franchise tag on George Pickens, the second-round restricted free agent tender on kicker Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys are positioned to keep the pair for at least another season. A multi-year agreement may be optimal in both cases, but there has not been any progress on either front, Calvin Watkins from the Dallas Morning News reports. And so one of the things that he's saying about George Pickens in particular that is concerning is that there has been no further conversation. It seems to be with Brandon Aubrey that there is some kind of conversation. There's no conversation with George Pickens. It says the 25-year-old finished top 10 in the league in receptions, 93, 8th in yards, went 10th in the league in receptions, I guess 8th in yards and 3rd in touchdowns, or how they got this thing all mixed up. With that in mind, it came as no surprise when the Cowboys tagged Pickens to stop him from hitting the open market, unfettered. And so I'm a little bit surprised, at least at this point, that nobody came forward and tried to give away those 2 first-round picks. But it looks like that he may be playing on the franchise tag. If he's going to play, he's going to play on the franchise tag. But, this is a very tricky year. I really consider this to be a very tricky year for George Pickens. Because where I think that it won't hurt Brandon Aubrey to play on the tag, it won't hurt Brandon Aubrey to play on the tag. Right, Extra fan, appreciate that super chat. He said, let me hold about 50 Aubrey to Jerry. Yes, sir. It won't really hurt Brandon Aubrey to play on the tag. He's a kicker. I mean, how many times is he going to get hurt? I mean, how many times is he going to get hit? But when you're talking about George Pickens, I mean, while it will be $27 million, I mean, George is going to really take a chance if he plays on that tag. So, and you're right, Rumbowski. No further conversation because Pickens and Mulugeta aren't getting any offers. And so George is probably, I mean, because there are no offers, George is in a very tight situation. The Cowboys got him between the proverbial rock and a hard place. And the reason why they got him in between a rock and a hard place is because if George was to hold out, it would hurt George going forward because that doesn't help him get an even bigger deal the next season. So, but if George gets hurt, he doesn't get a bigger deal probably either going the next season, but the Cowboys may give him a smaller deal, or maybe someone gives him a smaller deal. But unfortunately, for George, he needs to be on the field. George is going to have to prove it, or he may have to prove it one more season, unless him and Mulugeta go at the Cowboys and say, okay, we'll take a $27 million a year deal, or, but again, with the deal that Alec Pierce got, you can't pay him less than 30. And really, you probably can't pay him less than DK Metcalf. So no matter what, you're probably hovering around $33, $34 million as it applies to one George Pickens. But in the grand scheme of things, unfortunately, I believe he just has to play. It's a huge risk, but unfortunately, I just think he has to play. I do. Najee says, seriously, thank God Aubrey's a kicker. Any other position in the media would be beating this up. Yeah, I agree. Doomsday said, gee, I think the teams haven't offered Pickens anything is because they want to see another big season from him. Yeah, to make sure he's consistent, which I think he's going to be unpredicted, 1,380 yards. Doomsday, let me tell you something. I actually believe that George Pickens will surpass this past season. George Pickens will be an absolute demon if he plays on that franchise tag. And if it's not the Cowboys, it'll be somebody else. he's going to hit the lottery. He's going to hit the lottery. George Pickens is going to play like a demon, I believe. Yeah, Najee said he got him by the sack. Yeah, he does. It's tough, but he does, though. Yeah, Demetrius Noel said, I don't see how that helps the Cowboys. We have seen what the offense looks without him. Yeah. They got him in a rock and a hard place, though. They do. And so he's not saying a word. We're going to see what happens. So maybe a deal does get done. But I'll tell you this. If the Cowboys get a deal done with George Pickens, I also believe that means that there's another big move coming. Because George Pickens accounts for $27 million right off the cap. That money comes right off the cap. If the Cowboys extend him, I see another big move coming. So we're going to see what happens. Yeah. Ron Ham said, honestly, everything is quiet on George since they announced the tag. That's a little suspicious to me. Like something behind closed doors is going on. Could be. Could be. Rex fan, appreciate that super chat. He said, imagine Aubrey and Pickens in the same car like a rush hour movie. These contracts got Steven going through his laundry looking for loose change. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can imagine too, boy. 72 Savelle said, we all take risk every day. G, he's no different. Salute to Dak. I can tell you, Mr. 72 Savelle, Dak Prescott is going to make it his business that George Pickens hits the lottery. Watch what I tell you. Dak is going to make sure he hits the lottery. Larry Golden, what's going on? He said, G, sorry, I just got here. I do want to say this, less is more. In other words, George is saying less, but in the long run, he will be doing better for himself. Yeah, Larry, he really has no choice. As much as I hate this for him, he has no choice. He has no choice. Bass, I agree. He wants to be a Cowboy, and him and what's the name are very good friends. Bad Boy said, G, did you hear Acho saying he would have took less to stay in Cincinnati, but don't want GP to play on the tag? Make it make sense. Big Rubowski said New England, Buffalo, and Denver all went for another wide receiver. You know what, Rubowski? I was shocked that New England and Buffalo didn't go for George. Picks is big price to pay, and they went elsewhere. Yeah, 2 first-round picks. Yeah. And Najee, as much as I hate it, I agree with you. Jerry made the correct move. I hate it, but he made the correct move. But I also hope he extends him. Doomsday said, G, so you actually believe George Pickens is going to surpass 1,500 yards? That's a bold prediction. I hope you're right. Oh, Doomsday, he's going to go off the chain. He's going to go off the chain. You watch what I tell you. He's going to go off the chain because George Pickens is way better than Alec Pierce, and he's way better than Waddle. Samuel said, G, Denver gave Miami what they gave for Waddle. What is Pickens worth? Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly. But GP, if I was GP, I would show up for everything. I really would. I would show up for everything because George needs the work. He needs that connection with Dak Prescott not to be broken. He don't want to hit the first game of the season trying to get that connection back. No, I think he really needs to do his thing. Yeah, Bass says CD knows if GP3 gets paid, Lamb will get more in the long run. Yeah. And he also knows this too, Bass. He gonna put up video game numbers. I wouldn't be shocked if they both put up 12, 13, 1,400 if they can both stay healthy. Yeah, still Darryl said George Pickens was a young Michael Irvin last year. Yeah, I loved it. He was great. Yeah. So let's check out Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell had some advice for George Pickens.
Here we go.
Check this out. Found this little nugget today. I don't know, X isn't making a sound though, so I might not even be able to play this.
And then, for those who don't know, Le'Veon Bell sat out on that tag. What advice will you give George Pickens about what direction to take after you had got franchised? And then, for those who don't know, Le'Veon Bell sat out on that tag.
Yeah, I did.
The
second one. I got franchised tag twice. Yeah, but if I'm George, yeah, I think I play on the tag in hopes of trying to get a deal worked out. You know, I think they do make a deal eventually because they got CeeDee Lamb too. I think if the Cowboys want to get back to being the Cowboys, bro, get to the Super Bowl, they need to keep their weapon.
What advice will you give George Pickens about what direction to take after you?
Yeah. I really think this is the direction that it is going to have to go. I really do. GP is going to have to play on that tag. He's going to have to play on that tag. I really think that's the move. He's going to have to play on that tag. It just doesn't do him any good to not play on it if that's the direction the Cowboys are going. And I'm sure they already knew. That this was a possibility when he signed with the Cowboys. Also, thank you, Richard Baptiste, for reminding me. Let me show you this. And this is another reason why I do believe that this is another reason why I believe that Lamb and Dak Prescott have told Jerry Jones that they want Pickens. They want Pickens here. This was the latest. This is the only thing we've heard from George Pickens. Him and CeeDee Lamb riding around, hanging out, vibing. This is it. That boy CeeDee Lamb, boy, he dressed like a supermodel, don't he? Look at the clothes he got on. Chains, the bag with a chain on it. After George Pickens start getting paid from that doggone franchise tag, he gonna start dressing like that too. Shoot. Gonna start dressing, he gonna be CeeDee Lamb too. He gonna have the teeth, even though he got some great looking choppers. He gonna have the teeth, the hair, the jewelry, the bags, everything. Yeah. I think George Pickens, I think he's going to bet on himself. I really do think he is going to bet on himself. I really do. And really, he has no choice. But at the end of the day, all right, Jeremy Betts, good night. Yeah, I believe he's going to get paid in the process. I do. Bama boy, I think it was one of the worst mistakes Le'Veon Bell made when that junk that he did with the sitting out a season messed up what probably could have been a Hall of Fame career for Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was one of them, man. Ron Hanna said George is worth 2 first-round picks. I agree. He's hard to guard one-on-one with GP tracking skills. Not a lot of receivers track the ball like GP. Yeah, man, I love GP. Want the Cowboys to continue. I want the Cowboys to get that deal done. All right, Frank Lawrence, you're going to lead me to my last topic for the night. Lawrence said, off topic, G, the Dak Prescott window logic is hurting the team, making them desperate. Dak needs to keep himself in shape. That window might be up to Dak's 40th birthday. Frank Lawrence, I've already said this before. I believe Dak Prescott's getting an extension. I'm telling you, if Dak Prescott has another season like he had last year, the Cowboys, I do not believe they're going to kick that money down into the void years. I believe the Cowboys are going to extend Dak Prescott an additional 2 years. Because I believe if Dak Prescott stays in shape and he's really putting a lot into his body, I see Dak Prescott playing for another 4 to 5 years. I see him retiring probably around 38-ish, 39-ish. But I believe he's going to retire a Cowboy. And when he get that Super Bowl, and I believe he's going to get that Super Bowl, yeah, he's going to retire a Cowboy. No doubt about it. Queen said Lamb is schooling GP while they're hanging out. They tight, so I think GP going to show up and not hold out. Yeah, I think so too, Queen. I think so too. Ryex fan said Wayans, that Wayans brothers type of energy. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's here to stay, but he's going to have to do it one more year. Ron Heather, you are not lying. Boy, the way these athletes dressed today, boy, you and me, boy, it's too flamboyant for me. My wife be tripping on the way these guys be dressing today. I'm with you. Baz said Dak done told GP3 how to handle it, told him straight, remain humble, remain silent, everything will work itself out. And Baz, you know what else I believe he told him? I'm going to get you the ball. Yeah, don't you worry. I'm going to make sure you're going to get paid. Yeah, that catch between them two defenders against Green Bay was crazy. Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, so, man, let me tell you something about. I found this the other day, and I thought it was very, very unique. So Kobe Durant, when they were interviewing Kobe Durant, he said that
Who are some of those guys?
He wants to get the ball back into the hands of Dak Prescott so Dak Prescott can do what he does. And so it dawned on me that a lot of these young guys, they've grown up on Dak Prescott. And a lot of these young guys like Dak Prescott. And so there are players in college who really like Dak Prescott, and they would love to play with the Cowboys because of Dak Prescott. And so this guy named Jadarian Price, Notre Dame running back. Let me tell you something. This is another running back that if the Cowboys could maybe get him in a later round, man, this guy could be nice too. This guy could be nice too. Check out what he said about Dak Prescott.
Is there a quarterback that you would dream to catch passes from? Who are some of those guys?
Probably Dak Prescott.
Really?
Just because I grew up watching.
Look at her face. She is shocked. But there are a lot of players out there, I guarantee you, they like Dak Prescott. There are a lot of players out there that would love to play with Dak Prescott. Najee said Dak is the ultimate leader. Yeah. Bass said, yeah, I already know where you were going with this. I watched this video and it was so touching, but it's also a stark reminder that we don't have Prescott long. Man, Bass. People have grown up watching Dak Prescott. And a lot of these young guys admire him.
Watching, and I was a Cowboys fan growing up, but yeah, that's just one. There's so many more, but it'd be a hard catch from anybody. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Jerry, go get this man. Man, if he hanging around somewhere in the 5th round, Jerry, go get this man.
Laughing because the idea of you growing up watching Dak, who's he's not like Aaron Rodgers' age, or Stafford even. You grew up watching Dak. That's hilarious. I can't. Hey, Dak Prescott, who I know and love. Dak, I want you to see this. They grew up watching you. I want you, Dak, to feel what that feels like. And I want to hear it from you, Dak. On our draft class, you're the guy who was, the poster, metaphorically speaking, on their wall. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the peak of being a Dallas Cowboys fan, I was in middle school. And that's when Dak and Zeke came on the scene, and that was what they were doing. Zeke was my favorite running back.
Oh my God.
So it's weird that now I'm in the position where, okay, I got to go out there and be competitive against these guys and show what I can do. So.
Man. You're right, Bass. It just really reminds me that we really need to appreciate Dak Prescott. This guy's been around 10 years. And I think he's going to play another 5. I really do. I think Dak's going to play another 5. I think he's going to get an extension. I don't think he's going anywhere. The Cowboys are all in on Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think that deal was made to get from under. I believe that deal was made to extend. And I think they're going to extend him. Demetrius Noel, you got me laughing. He said, gee, she was expecting him to say Herbert. That's why she had that shocked look. Man. Bass said, I'm going to be sad when 4 go out. Jones got to get this man a defense and a Lombardi. Stop playing with me. I'm with you, man. Man, Cowboy fans gonna be crying when Dak Prescott win that Super Bowl, boy. They gonna be crying. Queen said, awesome, I saw this, but I didn't like the way she responded. Like make it make sense, D. She mentioned Aaron Rodgers. Yo. Tell her she was shocked. Yo. It's Dak Prescott. It's Ray Dakota Prescott. Bam Boy said people fell in love with Mahomes because of his first year in the league, then build him up to Tom Brady status. And Bama Boy, I tell people all the time, man, don't put Patrick Mahomes in Tom Brady's atmosphere yet. I always tell people, let the rest of this man's career play out. Tom Brady won more and more and more as he went on. More and more and more. So we're gonna see what happens with them. But yeah, man, I'm excited. We gotta get Dak Prescott and get him his Lombardi. Rodney said that's why Uncle G, when he got traded to the Cowboys, he should have asked for an extension right then got 20. Rodney. But see, I'm gonna tell you what I think, Rodney. GP was listening to his agent. Because GP said, oh, I don't want to talk about no contract. I'm gonna play this year and then blah, blah, blah. But if I'm with you, man, these contracts for me don't mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. All I'm interested in is the guaranteed money. Man, you get me $60 guaranteed dollars, man. You can tell people I'm making $5 a season. I don't give a doggone. As long as you got me my $60 million guaranteed over 3 to 4 years, I'm good to go. Doomsday said, G, better days are ahead for us. I believe we're going to get a Super Bowl with Dak. Yeah, I do too. I do. All right, Cowboy fans, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Fred said, Cowboys trade Dak Prescott to the Raiders for Max in their first round. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Bama Boy said, when Dak wins that trophy, I'm going to be like women in the crowd of an MJ concert. Boy, yeah. People going to be crying, man. They're going to be crying. And Dak Prescott wins that Super Bowl. Hall of Fame, here he comes. All right, Cowboy fans, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Went out here, scoured the internet, got us some material. Not a lot going on, but of course, as you see, we were able to put together a great show today. Great chat participation. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Got more videos coming up tonight, tomorrow, and then we're going to be right back live tomorrow. Hopefully something breaks, and who knows? Maybe the Cowboys get Bobby Wagner or somebody else. But again, whatever they do, we will be here to report it. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Best chat on YouTube. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.